have Manny Gomes with me from Guaranteed Rate, and we're talking about strategies to sell your house in this marketplace. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, so today we're talking about, we have very low inventory. We're in this market where we still have low inventory. We have interest rates have been creeping up. And so now I have a lot of people I talk to, and they would like to sell their home. They would like to maybe downsize, or they'd like to sell their home and buy a bigger home, but they just don't really know how to go about it. So they want some options. They're afraid they're gonna put it on the market, it's gonna sell in 20 seconds, and they're not gonna have anywhere to go. So what can we do to help them out?
All right, so this is where you really have to be very strategic about how you handle the process and understand what can go right and what can't go wrong, right? For somebody to sell their home in 20 seconds, which right now it's highly possible. I've been doing this for nearly 20 years, since the financial crisis. I have not seen a better time to sell your home than the markets we've seen in the last year. And even interest rates doubling this past year has not really taken the winds out of the sail at all on the housing market, especially in Connecticut.
Right.
Especially in Connecticut.
And what I'm seeing is some homes are still selling with multiple offers, and some homes are sitting for 30 to 45 days. So it just depends on where you are and about a lot of different things about your own home.
Okay. And if you really think about it, because there's a high demand from buyers, like there's the number of buyers wanting to buy a house greatly outweighs the number of listings. Right? We're probably at the lowest level of listings in over a decade in this part of Fairfield County. So if you're a seller and you have a home that has a little bit of deferred maintenance, or maybe it's on that busy road, or maybe you're on a hill, right? That normally is a deterrent, where if there's a lot of other properties on the market, yours is not looking very, very good. The buyers are going to lowball you as a result of kind of those little blemishes in terms of marketability. But you don't have that right now. Because there's so few properties, buyers will overlook some of those things because they want to purchase a property and they want to kind of start a family and have a place for the family, right? They're done renting because rents keep going higher. They just want to purchase something. So from that aspect, if you have one of those properties that in a normal market makes it a little bit more challenging to sell, this is the best market to sell those properties in.
So I totally agree.
Now, if you're needing to sell to buy something else, you really have one of two choices, right? You have to establish if financially you're capable of buying without selling, which means you have to have at least the minimum down payment for the next property, which typically will be anywhere from 3.5% to 5%. And once you purchase your property, you're going to sell yours in a minute, right? So you could probably list them at the same time and just make your offer on the next property, non-contingent upon you selling your current property, because it's a safe move right now. In some markets, a buyer will be nervous to buy the next property, not knowing when they're going to sell their current property. In this market, there's probably nearly 100% odds that you're going to sell and close on your current property before your first mortgage payment is due on your new property. Right? Nearly 100%. We can't say 100% because nothing's 100%, but it's nearly 100%. Right? Now, if you're able to do that, and now you have the down payment from your current property that you're selling, you could always do what's called a recast on your mortgage. Right?
What does that mean?
So that means that you'll do one lump sum payment, and the mortgage company will either eliminate the PMI if you have mortgage insurance, if you put down less than 20%, but they will reset your mortgage payment based on your new loan balance. So let's say you borrow $400,000, and after selling your property, you netted $100,000, and you want to put that towards the mortgage to lower your monthly payment. You make one lump sum payment of $100,000, and the mortgage company will then reset your mortgage payment based on the $300,000 loan amount versus the $400,000.
So
it drops your payment.
So you can go out and buy a house, get yourself all ready to go, and then put your house on the market. Mm-hmm. So that's like the ultimate way to do that, because it takes all the stress out. You have, most of the stress out. You've already got a new place to live. And the other way you can do it, a lot of times people sell their house and then you temporarily move in with someone. or a short-term rental until
You know,
you can
move in
find
with the
something else.
in-laws or your parents for a period of time if they're in the area. That is the old school way of doing things,
Yeah.
right?
I
It's
love old
100%
school.
possible. You know, is it an inconvenience for a period of time? Yes, but keyword for a period of time,
Right.
right? And I know one of the fears in the marketplace right now is like there's not much inventory. What if it takes me forever? Right? Here's where the third strategy comes into place, and this is probably what used to work really well many years ago. Right now it's not very popular just because there's so many buyers out there that when you make an offer with the strategy, sometimes it doesn't get viewed positively, but it's, you put your house on the market, you know, so you gauge the level of activity, you gauge what someone's willing to buy it for, right? So you know how much money you're working with towards the next property. And at the same time, you're out there actively looking. Now, if you find something you like and want to submit an offer, you make that offer contingent upon you successfully closing on your current property that's listed on the market, right?
Right.
That, and it's called the hover clause. You make
Right.
your offer
That's
with the
how
hover
it
clause,
goes.
contingent upon you selling your property. Now, this works great. It's the best of all worlds in my opinion, but there's a lot of things that could potentially go wrong in terms of delays, right? If you make your offer contingent upon selling yours, the seller may have an offer doesn't require that. So you may have to sweeten your offer and make it a higher offer price for them to overlook their other offers. So you may overpay a little bit for the next property, potentially, or there may be delays. You have to then secure an offer on your property and then try to domino close, right? You can either close the same day,
Right.
or rent back your current home for 30 days or so from after you sell it and close, you can rent it back from the new homeowners, which is a little weird, right? I'm renting the home I lived in for so many years I've owned.
Right,
But
and the
people do
caveat
that.
on that is that you can only rent it for up to 60 days.
Right.
Because otherwise, then the person who bought your house is gonna be in violation of their mortgage, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
So,
Yeah.
it might
It's
buy
not,
you.
it's not police very often, but you're correct, it is
Yeah.
60 days.
So you might be able to, if you still haven't found a house, you might be able to go through with the closing and rent back for up to 60 days, and then you make other plans if you haven't found anything by then. But usually, if you really are active and you've been looking before you even put your house on the market to get an idea of what you want, that takes sometimes the most time
It does.
to find out what exactly are you looking for your next real estate journey. So if you're out there looking for your next condo or your house,
Mhm.
and you kind of get an idea that we're not going to be looking at a certain kind of house, you can go out and really get an idea and then talk to the person if you find one and say, listen, I'm about to list my house. What can we work out? So
Yeah.
it's a lot of really good communication.
It's
too.
preparation, strategy, and execution, right?
Right.
It's what it really takes. It's a well-developed plan that you have to account for some variables potentially,
Right.
and it may just be take more what I like to call at bats. You may have to make more offers on properties before you successfully have one accepted. So you kind of have to go into it knowing that, right? I feel right now a lot of buyers are getting discouraged because they have home prices that are not coming down. If anything, they're starting to go back up again. Interest rates that have gone up and they've settled a little bit, but who knows where they're going to go in the next 3 to
That's
4
right.
months. Then you get discouraged if you're making offers above ask and they're not getting accepted. It becomes discouraging. So right now it's a patient person's market to win. Those who are patient understand that the dynamics of the marketplace, that it's not going to be super easy, but if you work with a talented team of agent, loan officer, it becomes easier, but it's still not going to be 100% easy because it's not an easy market right now.
Right.
At all.
Right.
But these are the markets where working with the best of the best is going to have you successfly win.
That's right. It takes that team, putting that team together and getting everyone on the same page. It really is. You have to, there's a philosophy about real estate agents that they battle it out, but in this market, you want the real estate agents who are gonna work together to get the deal done. That is every real estate agent's ultimate goal.
Oh, yeah.
This I can say without a doubt, so right now we have, you can sell your house, you can buy another house before you sell your house. You can go move in with your kids or your parents and sell your house and then wait to buy your next house. You can put it on the market, you can sell it and ask to rent it back for up to 60 days to be safe. So there's three options right there.
There's plenty of options. It's a matter of kind of what works out best. If you
Right.
are able to purchase without selling, but it just so happens that your house successfully goes into contract, and I just had a few of these happen. I qualify them, they're able to qualify without selling, but then they put their house on the market, they got an offer right away, so the timelines just got reset, so they delayed the closing of the property they're purchasing, so that they can sell and close simultaneously, which just made it better, so they were able to take the down payment from that and actually put it towards the next property. And I think that is gonna happen more often than not in this marketplace right now, because you're able to sell your home so quickly that you take that unknown out of question, right? If you're able to sell or buy without selling, but then you find out that, hey, I could kind of recalibrate the close dates and close simultaneously. Again, it's a little bit more strategy and preparation, but it's 100% possible in this market. But you just have to work with people who think strategically and can help kind of put the plan together.
And as an agent, I want my client to have that team way ahead of time, almost before we're out looking for houses, so that we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, you have your finances reviewed by someone who actually understands how to put different plans together. Because I've been a loan officer for many years, and I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of loan officers. A very small percentage of them out there know how to actually take a look at someone's financial picture and figure out multiple different plans. They just know how to quote a rate, calculate a payment, and submit it to underwriter, and hopefully the underwriter says yes to everything. You know, it's almost like a game of pong between them and the underwriter,
Right.
because they just take the preliminary info and they wait for the underwriter to tell them what is necessary afterwards. And working with someone like that, you're not going to get a structured plan, because they don't know how to structure a loan for underwriting in the first place. You know, and unfortunately, a lot of loan officers out there, that's how they've been trained, because rates have been low for so long that the sales force just trained them to go out and get deals, but not how to handle complicated deals.
Right. And in this market, the deals are a little more complicated, totally doable. Houses are always going on the market. There's always going to be your next house when you'll find it. I always tell my clients, you're going to walk in and go, this is it.
Yeah.
And usually that's the one that works out.
I always say, because I had the same feeling when I bought my house, you're gonna walk in and you're like, oh my God, your heart's gonna start pumping a little bit.
Yeah.
On the way out, you're gonna start, look at it as you're driving away. You're probably gonna drive by it, like on your way to work or something the next day or two,
Yeah.
or over the weekend. That's when you know it's the right house.
Yeah. It's gonna have that right feel, and that's gonna be the one you're gonna live in for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, what other things can we tell sellers and buyers? So we're telling them to be patient, we're telling them to be strategic, and to get out there and see what they want to do. Make a plan, even if you're not going to do it now. You want to start planning ahead 1, 3, 5 years ahead to make sure that you're ready to go.
Yeah.
When do people come to you typically?
They typically, lately, because rates have been going up, and I think the market is signaling to people that they have to be a little bit more prepared. It's typically about 3 to 4 months before they purchase something. But I think that's a function of how little inventory is out there as well. Because normally someone could get pre-qualified within 30 days being in contract. With tight inventory, it's taking them longer. So I think it's more a function of that. But really, someone should get vetted out for the financing at the very least 6 months in advance. This way they have time to prepare. I can walk them through what to do with their credit, walk them through how to make their file what I like to call underwriter ready. Because sometimes people have money in all different areas. I'm like, hey, consolidate it, or else we're going to be paper trailing everything. It's going to be a nightmare when it comes to the loan process. So that's what they should be doing financially, but at the same time, they should be doing the same thing when they're thinking about selling and then buying. Start educating themselves about the marketplace so they decrease that learning curve when they get out there and start looking. Right? They get to know really what the price points are. They can kind of track it for a little bit of time. So they're like, oh, hey, when I started looking, Colonial, 3-bedroom Colonial was $500,000. Now 6 months later, it's $520,000. Like, the market's going up. Maybe I should act versus just be kind of a victim of the market. You know what's going on with the market. But I'll say the number one mistake I find most people make is they want to find the house that they want to purchase before they consider listing their house.
Right. And that is true.
That's the biggest thing. Because if you think about it, you're emotionally charged. You're excited about the next house that you're going to purchase. So sometimes rationality goes out the window. You know, you're going to rush to put your home on the market. You're going to accept whatever offer you can get just because you're thinking about the next house you're buying, right?
Right.
So it's not the best position to be in, and most of the time it ends up being kind of costly to the family that's making that decision to find a property, get emotionally involved, then rush to get their home listed and everything like that. Because they're going to spend more money and offer more on that house, and probably make questionable financial decisions at the same time.
So it's better to put your house on the market, is what you're saying first. It's
Mhm.
also, before you put your house on the market, go out to some open houses, go see what's going on in your area.
Educate yourself about the marketplace.
Absolutely.
Always.
And look on Zillow and see what's going on in the town that you want to go to next if you're changing towns, or in the area that you want to buy. And yeah, get your house ready to sell. Get it every day, do a little something. And
The decluttering phase, right? Because I think during COVID, in Amazon, I know I ordered more stuff than I really needed. So decluttering, I think, is taking a little longer for a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
And the house
Yeah.
looks better when it's decluttered.
Absolutely, absolutely. If your kids have left the house more than 5 years ago, it's time for them to come on over and pack up their room a little bit.
Or if you have a young family, I know I have toys spread out everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
So even kind of trying to organize that a little bit it becomes challenging. And I think that's where most people are. They have young kids. They either need to move for a better school district or more
Right.
space. And that is what I find is a typical kind of buyer that needs to sell in order to buy in this marketplace.
Right.
And it's a scary thing because you have your family, you have your children. It's harder to make some of these like strategic moves because you're like, hey, where am I going to put my kids? Right? They need a place to sleep. They have all their stuff, and that's where being even more forward thinking is going to benefit you and benefit those families because they could kind of craft a plan or 2 or 3 different plans, and then the function of the market takes them in one direction or the other, right? And that's what I find. If someone only has one path and it goes wrong, it's kind of game over. But if you could go in 2 or 3 different directions and you have a fork in the road, but you can have a cross onto the other fork, let's say, that's better, right? Why not?
Right.
It's less odds of getting lost.
That's true. That's true. So anyway, well, thank you, Manny,
No
from
problem.
Guaranteed Freight. Please like and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to put in the description, I'll have a link to Manny down there. And please comment, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
killed it.